Kieran Review Print Speaking to the Blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @KieranReview. That is @CuanDreview. You can also contact us directly by emailing information at KieranReview.com. That is INFORMATION@CuanDreview.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This podcast, date Wednesday the 28th of June 2023, was read to you by Alan, Hunter and Ian. New start for local children. Builders McLaughlin and Harvey have handed over the keys for new Woodland View School in Waterside, Kirkintilloch. New school completed. Report by John A. McInnes. The construction of the brand new Woodland View School building in Waterside, Kirkintilloch, is now complete, ahead of opening its doors to pupils in August 2023. Accommodating children and young people from ages 2 to 18 from across East Dunbartonshire who currently attend Campsie View and Mareland schools, the building is designed to be both practical and stimulating for pupils who have a broad range of additional support needs. Council Leader Gordon Lowe joined head teacher Kay Hunter and pupils from both schools to receive the keys from contractors McLaughlin and Harvey, and to have their first glimpse inside the custom-built development. Councillor Lowe said, "After having my first tour inside Woodland View School, I am confident this purpose-built place of learning will well serve the needs of the 200 pupils from Mareland and Campsie View schools who will start attending here in the August term. Our contractors have delivered a school built to a very high standard that boasts plenty of open spaces and a sensory trail leading from the ground floor to the first floor. Both indoors and out, the school is undoubtedly a welcoming and comfortable learning environment for our children and young people, with modern decor and fittings." Head teacher Kay Hunter added, "It was very exciting to see it inside our new school. The building is absolutely fantastic. It has been designed to meet the needs of all of our pupils, from extra wide lifts to an accessible walkway connecting the ground and first floor. There is so much light and space with lots of access for outdoor learning. The use of natural materials contributes to the creation of a happy and nurturing environment throughout. Outdoors, we have beautifully landscaped gardens and courtyard areas, as well as a super multi-use games area, MUGA. I'm sure all our children and young people and their parents and carers will be absolutely thrilled with it." Chris Boyle, Scape Framework Director at McLaughlin and Harvey, commented, "We are delighted to hand over the new Woodland View School to East Dunbartonshire Council. We have enjoyed working in collaboration with the Council." And that report was written by Johnny McInnes and read by me, Ian McKenna. This week in history. June the 29th, 1956, actress Marilyn Monroe married playwright Arthur Miller. On this day last year, 9 Britons were through to the second round of the Wimbledon singles in the best team performance in a quarter of a century. June 30th, 1960, Norman Bates was unleashed onto an unsuspecting world when Hitchcock's classic thriller Psycho was premiered in New York. July the 1st, 1937, the 999 emergency service came into operation in Britain. On this day last year, a replica 17th century turf and creel house officially opened in Glencoe, offering visitors a glimpse of how people lived around the time of the 1692 massacre. July the 2nd, 1964, President Johnson signed the USA Civil Rights Bill, prohibiting racial discrimination. July the 3rd, 1959, The first radio broadcast of Sing Something Simple with Cliff Adams and the Adams Singers took place, providing non-stop songs for half an hour. On this day last year, Wimbledon Centre Court hosted musical celebrations before a full day of tennis on Middle Sunday for the first time to celebrate its centenary. June the 4th, 1968, Alec Rose landed in Portsmouth after sailing single-handed around the world in Lively Lady. On this day last year, the Rolling Stones paid tribute to Adele and performed a Bob Dylan song as they returned to Hyde Park in London.
Error apology. In a recent edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald published on June 14th, we reported on child poverty statistics. In the first paragraph of that article, it was claimed that East Dunbartonshire has one of the highest rates of child poverty in the country. This was incorrect. The research we cited actually showed that East Dunbartonshire has the second lowest rate of child poverty in Scotland at 14.9%. A child living in poverty is one too many, which is why East Dunbartonshire Council spent more than £2 million last year on their cost of living support programme. A similar amount will also go into the programme this financial year, according to the Council. The Kirkintilloch Herald apologises unreservedly to anyone who may have been affected by our error. Read by Alan Todd.
Rona says more needs to be done, as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay has welcomed new figures that show an incredible 98% of school leavers from East Dunbartonshire are in positive destination 9 months after finishing school. Across Scotland, the proportion of school leavers in 2021 to 22 accessing further or higher education, employment, training or an apprenticeship 9 months after leaving school is its highest since records began. The number of school leavers in work has also reached a record high of 31.8%. This year has also seen a reduction in the poverty-related attainment gap, with the gap between young people from the most and least deprived areas across Scotland in work, training or further study narrowing to a record low of 7 percentage points. Commenting, Rona said, "Despite the challenges of the pandemic and the impact of the ongoing cost of living crisis, young people in East Dunbartonshire are continuing to achieve and excel, and I welcome that an amazing 1,395 have gone on to secure work, further education or a training post 9 months after leaving schools. These encouraging numbers are testament to the hard work and commitment of our young people, teachers and parents, and show that this SNP government is delivering on its education commitments. Much progress has been made in Scotland to increase opportunities for young people, but the only way to properly tackle the poverty-related attainment gap is to tackle poverty." MSP's warning on air pollution. Green MSP Ross Greer has warned that the Council must not become complacent on tackling air pollution, as the latest data shows Bearsden and Mulgai pollution hotspots are still well above global standards. East Dunbartonshire Council successfully revoked the air quality management area status for Bearsden Cross last year after demonstrating that levels were now consistently within legal levels. But data from monitoring sites in Bearsden and Mulgai are still nowhere near meeting the World Health Organization's latest guidelines, which are based on what scientists say is an acceptable level to prevent serious health effects. For example, the average nitrogen dioxide levels in 2022 were 24 micrograms per cubic metre at Bearsden Cross and 14 micrograms per cubic metre in Mulgai, both still above the World Health Organization's 10 grams per cubic metre recommendation. Ross Greer commented it's not good enough for the Council to rest just below the legal levels when all the scientific evidence shows that we should be going much further, especially to keep children safe from developing asthma and serious heart and lung disease. The Council should take the position that no level of air pollution is acceptable and constantly work to reduce it. As we came out of COVID restrictions last year, the data showed pollution was still over double what the World Health Organization are telling us to aim for. There's so much more we can do to make our air clean and safe, like making it easier to walk, wheel and cycle to school. Improving bus routes or considering an LEZ zone like Glasgow now has. Green energy. Labour MSP for West Scotland Neil Bibby has welcomed the launch of Labour's Green Energy Mission by UK Labour leader Keir Starmer and Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar. As part of Labour's plans ahead of the general election, the focus of this one is to ensure Scotland and Britain is a global green energy superpower to secure the UK's energy independence from the likes of Russia and, crucially, deliver lower energy bills for people in East Dunbartonshire and across the UK. Neil Bibby, MSP for West Scotland, said, "I'm delighted by the launch of Labour's mission to make Scotland and Britain a green energy superpower. Our energy potential is massive. The creation of publicly owned GB Energy with its HQ in Scotland will mean 50,000 Scottish jobs and us leading the way in green energy."
Constitutional future for NHS. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay has welcomed plans to enshrine the NHS into the constitution of a future independent Scotland, which would protect the right to access healthcare available free at the point of need. The plans to create a constitution that provides recognition of the NHS in Scotland were included in the 4th Building a New Scotland paper from the Scottish Government. Commenting, she said, "Our NHS is Scotland's most loved public service, so it is only right that such a valuable asset should be enshrined into the constitution of an independent Scotland in order that NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde can be protected for generations to come."
The NHS needs you. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde are looking to recruit people with experience of stoma services to join NHS GGC's local stoma forum. The group helps the NHS listen to its communities and make sure that the recent experiences of people accessing stoma care are able to shape the work of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde as they continue to develop stoma services. A spokesman said, "We are hoping to recruit 3 people who have had a stoma for 12 months or longer, or have experience supporting someone with a stoma, and are passionate about improving how the NHS works, and that can join our group, which will meet 4 times per year, with each meeting lasting around 2 hours, and use their experiences to help better understand the patient, carer, or family experience of stoma care, and help us shape services together." If you are interested in potentially joining this group, you can contact Elaine Payton or Vicky Garrick via telephone or email. Telephone 0141 201 6022 or email prescribing@ggc.scot.nhs.uk with your name, contact details, and why you would like to get involved, preferably by Monday the 3rd of July. The spokesman continued, "In joining NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's local stoma forum, you will help us provide a local platform for facilitated discussions relating to NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's stoma care services, commission of stoma care clinical guidelines, and ratification of formulary changes for stoma products. Key areas that will be covered include increased engagement between board and stoma care patients, supporting tools and resources for help to promote self-care for patients living with a stoma, consistent adoption of best practice prescribing guidance and assurance measures, evaluation of alternative stoma appliance and accessory product prescribing models, and a review of future stoma nurse recruitment requirements and professional development. This opportunity is open to anyone living or receiving care and support from NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde."
Holocaust exhibition. Pupils at a Bishopbriggs school have been praised for their work in putting together an exhibition focusing on refugees who came to Scotland to escape the Holocaust. The week-long student-led Gathering the Voices display at Turnbull High School contained a wealth of fascinating images and visual material bringing to life the experiences of the people who fled the Nazis. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay given a tour of the exhibition last week by S3 pupils Poppy Hannon and Grace Hamill. She said, "I'm really impressed with the pupils who have been leading this amazing exhibition. I think this type of display is really important for future generations. It was a very dark time in our history and it is important to know what happened." It has been fascinating to see this display, and I would especially like to thank my tour guides Poppy and Grace for their informative tour. I'm sure all the young people involved have gained valuable insights that will stay with them throughout their lives. Turnbull High School was recognised last year for its good practice in Holocaust education. Along with St Ninian's High School at Kirkintilloch, it received Visions School Scotland's prestigious Level 2 award. Both schools were also commended for their commitment to continuing education on the Holocaust at a special event at the Scottish Parliament. Speakers included the then Cabinet Secretary for Education, Shirley Ann Somerville, and poet Michael Rosen. Mr. Rosen's Polish aunt and uncle, who were Jewish, disappeared during the Second World War, and he later learned that they had been taken to Auschwitz, never to return. Vision School Scotland is a partnership between the University of the West of Scotland and the Holocaust Educational Trust. It was set up in 2017 after a successful pilot phase at a number of schools throughout Scotland, including East Dunbartonshire. Awards are distributed to schools who have demonstrated sustainability, commitment and good practice in learning about the Holocaust.
Ross signs up to 0 hours. Local Green MSP Ross Greer has become one of the first Scottish politicians to be accredited as a No 0 Hours Gold Standard employer with 0 Hours Justice, an organisation which seeks to end the use of exploitive 0 hours contracts. Ross was among the first group of MSPs to be accredited by 0 Hours Justice and is proud to lead the way and demonstrate that good employment practice means providing workers with the security and stability of guaranteed working hours. Ross said 0 hours contracts are exploitative. They disproportionately hurt many of the most vulnerable workers and their families. Not being sure of your income on a month-to-month basis often forces people into debt and makes it hard just to put food on the table and cover the rent or mortgage payments. With the current cost of living crisis, it's important that MSPs demonstrate the kind of fair work practices we want to see adopted across the economy.
Primary pupils get a unique lesson. Report by John A. McInnes. Pupils at Christen Primary School in North Lanarkshire have taken part in Calla Holmes' Land to Life project, a new curriculum-based schools programme aimed at children between the ages of 7 and 11. The initiative is part of Calla's Community Pledge, which brings a host of bespoke, meaningful benefits to the communities in which Calla Homes builds across the UK. Chloe Thompson, Marketing Coordinator, and Suki Singh, Engineering Manager of Calla Homes West, went along to Christen Primary School to speak to a Primary 3 class to help build grassroots awareness of how new homes are developed and the important role that house builders play in creating sustainable new communities. They spoke to the class about the home building industry and the variety of diverse roles within the sector. The pupils took part in an interactive presentation and class discussion with Chloe and Suki before completing activities around job roles in the industry and job descriptions. The Primary 3 class also had plenty of questions before Suki and Chloe headed back to the nearby Errol's Rise development in Steps. The Land to Life programme supports a drive to cultivate early talent and to help transform perceptions of roles within the housing sector. It has been designed by Calla Homes in partnership with a specialist education consultant, with participating schools receiving a comprehensive suite of teachers' notes and detailed lesson plans, along with interactive presentations, worksheets, and animated videos focusing on 6 key topics. The lessons cover design and technology, sustainability, planning and marketing, and highlight the various job roles available within the industry. The programme aims to be as inclusive as possible, with alternative activities available for children with additional educational needs, and is expected to be rolled out to hundreds of children in Scotland and England across the next 2 years. Chloe Thompson, Marketing Coordinator at Calla Homes, said, "It was brilliant visiting Christ in Primary and speaking to the class about Calla and the home building sector. The pupils involved were engaged with the full lesson, asking questions about different roles and the different types of career paths available."
Collins Award. Moodiesburn site manager Colin McNeish from Miller Homes Stoneyetts Village Development has been awarded a prestigious Quality Award in this year's NHS BC Pride in the Job Awards. The awards recognise the commitment and dedication of development site managers in attaining consistently high standards in the delivery of new homes. From an initial pool of around 8,000 candidates across the UK, candidates were assessed across 6 key areas for several months to determine the best practices in the field. This year, 444 site managers received a Quality Award. Colin led the Stoneyetts Village site team to victory, recognising the exceptionally high quality of work. Colin said, "It's such an honour to receive an NHBC Quality Award for Stoneyetts Village. I would like to thank the exceptional site team for their hard work and determination."
Michelle's a top nurse. Courageous, Kirkintilloch-based district nurse Michelle Dalgarno was announced as the winner of the RCN Scotland Clinical Leadership Award at a glittering ceremony last week. Michelle completed the Advanced Nurse Practitioner (ANP) pathway and was appointed as District Nurse ANP in February 2021, the first post of its kind within NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. Michelle has been recognised for her commitment to research and evidence that defines her leadership style, supporting transformation in her team across the wider health and care locality team within East Dunbartonshire Health and Social Care Partnership. Leading an anticipatory care planning (ACP) workstream, she has introduced ACP champions across district nursing, community rehab, social work, care at home, care homes and older people's mental health services. Michelle acts as a role model, providing assessor and supervisor roles for district nurses, DN, and student DNs. She has implemented a multidisciplinary team, MDT, approach to increasing awareness around frailty, establishing and facilitating weekly MDT meetings. Michelle's work has also had a significant impact on reducing GPs referrals. Alongside Michelle, Derek Barron, Director of Care at Erskine, was announced as the winner of the Strategic Leadership Award. Colin Pullman, RCN Scotland Director, said, "Nursing leaders inspire and motivate, whether at a national level or in our wards, community teams and care homes. Michelle and Derek have both shown a passion for advocating for nursing and for high quality, person-centred care." Kerry Donoghue and Michelle Dalgarno were awarded Employees of the Year awards in 2021 by NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. They were redeployed to support the setting up and running of the Kirkintilloch COVID Assessment Centre, including providing clinical induction to local GPs and providing a significant proportion of clinical shifts to assess both extremely ill and deteriorating COVID patients during the first wave, in addition to enhanced clinical support to care home residents.
Nominate your hero now. The Scottish Health Awards 2023 is asking people across East Dunbartonshire to nominate their dedicated healthcare professionals in recognition of their contribution to the NHS. This year's awards will also be celebrating the 75th anniversary of the NHS. Run by a local newspaper in partnership with NHS Scotland and the Scottish Government, the annual awards celebrate the NHS staff, support workers, volunteers and specialist teams who go above and beyond to provide exceptional care and support to patients and their families. Now, patients and their families, work colleagues and members of the public have the chance to help them get the recognition they rightly deserve at the awards ceremony, which will take place this November. To nominate a local hero across one of the 16 categories, visit www.scottishhealthawards.com. Entries must be completed before the deadline, 23:59 on Sunday the 13th of August.
Summer School. Natasha's off to Harvard Uni. Report by John A. McInnes. A St Ninians High School student is getting a taste of American university life by spending the summer studying at Harvard in the USA. Flying to Boston last weekend, Natasha Noon will join 3 other care-experienced students from Scotland before beginning their classes at world-renowned university, where she will live on campus. The group are taking part in the university's 7-week programme, where they will study 2 university-level courses, live with other students from around the world and take part in typical campus life. The youngest of the group, at just 16, Natasha, has hopes to become a successful businesswoman in the future. This summer, she will spend her time studying improvisational acting and journalism. Natasha said, "I am looking forward to experiencing a completely new place, meeting new people, making friends and being independent. I hope to be able to explore Boston as well and go to the beach and have a good time, while still focusing on my studies and getting to advance my knowledge." The trip has been organised by Who Cares Scotland, as each of the students are care experienced. The charity believes that all care experienced people, those who are or have been in care, such as children's homes, foster care, or who are looked after by relatives or at home with social work involvement, should be able to follow their academic dreams regardless of the challenges many care experienced people face during education, such as placement moves and school changes. To help with this, the charity has been running its Harvard Summer School Sponsorship Initiative since 2010 and has supported 26 care experienced people to attend. Louise Hunter, Chief Executive, said, "Everyone knows of Harvard University and its reputation. By being able to give care experienced people the opportunity to study there allows them to discover just how much they are capable of, whilst also broadening their horizons. Going to Harvard is a dream for many students, but it can seem unrealistic for many care experienced people. It's great that in recent years there are new initiatives to help care experienced people achieve their academic goals, such as the student bursary and minimum entry requirements for further education institutions. We hope by providing this opportunity, it's just another way to support people to thrive. I look forward to hearing all about the experiences of our students." Ensuring the students are well supported once in America, the charity works in collaboration with the director of Harvard University Summer School. Bill Hollinger said, "Young scholars from Who Cares Scotland have been coming to Harvard Summer School and taking college courses for well over a decade now, and we are so glad to have them here." Harvard University. On September the 8th, 1636, Harvard, the first college in the American colonies, was founded. Who founded Harvard? Despite popular opinion and a certain statue, John Harvard did not found Harvard, but he was the first major benefactor, and he donated half of his estate and his library of more than 400 books to the school. Harvard University was officially founded by a vote by the Great General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Where is Harvard University located? While many think of Harvard Yard in Cambridge, Massachusetts as Harvard's campus, the university also has robust campuses in Boston. Council cutting down trees for cycle routes. by Vic Roderick, freelance reporter. Hundreds of trees have been felled across Scotland to make way for construction of green cycle lanes, it has been revealed. Bemused critics described the SNP Green government's plan to tackle global warming by laying miles of on-road cycle paths as ironic. They highlighted the inconsistency involved in trying to reduce carbon emissions by chopping down the very trees which stored carbon and helped eliminate it from the atmosphere. More than a dozen of Scotland's 32 councils admitted they had removed more than 800 trees or cleared additional woodland to build cycle lanes in the past 3 years, including East Dunbartonshire. The true number of trees felled is thought to be much higher, as many local authorities have not kept a tally or not released the information. A rapid expansion of cycle lanes forms part of the Scottish Government's transport strategy, which lists cycling behind walking and wheeling in its list of priorities. It's claimed encouraging cycling instead of cars justifies the removal of mature trees to make way for the construction of miles of cycle lanes across towns, cities and in rural areas. In Edinburgh, 458 trees were removed last year at the Roseburn to Union Canal active travel route. A further 30 trees were felled along the John Muir Way, named after the Scottish environmentalist who devoted his life to conservation, during an upgrade of the cycle route at Kirkintilloch to Milton of Campsie in Dunbartonshire. Scottish Conservative transport spokesman Graham Simpson said, "While cycle lanes will play a crucial role in encouraging more active travel, the public will raise their eyebrows at the strategy being employed by the SNP Green Coalition. They will find it ironic that hundreds of trees have had to be cut down to make way for new routes." A Transport Scotland spokesman said, "Local authorities decide on the design and location of active travel infrastructure. Projects are required to conduct full ecological assessments and follow relevant planning regulations, including tree preservation orders and compensatory planting." Report by Vic Roderick. Professor Tom Honoured. An NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde consultant has been made Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, in the King's Birthdays Honours List. Professor Tom Evans of the University of Glasgow, who carries out his clinical work at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, QEUH, has been honoured for his work during the COVID-19 pandemic. The CBE is the highest ranking of the orders of the British Empire, other than a knighthood or damehood, and Cambridge University graduate Tom has been given it for services to healthcare during the pandemic. Tom, 63, a specialist in infectious diseases and acute general medicine who has been with NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde since November 2003, said, "I have to say it was a surprise, but I'm delighted as it highlights the work that was done across Scotland and at the QEUH during COVID."
Local players' youth team, huge success. Following in the well-trodden footsteps of those who have gone before, Kirkintilloch players have had good reason for celebrations recently. It was a Scottish Championship double for Kirkintilloch players last weekend as the youth team scooped the Quiddy Viddy trophy for first place in the Scottish Youth Final of the SCDA one-act play festival with their play Teachers by John Godber. Back in April, the adult team triumphed in Stirling with their play The Beaches of St Valerie by Stuart Hepburn and are looking forward to heading to the British finals in Belfast at the end of this month. But the youth members were determined not to be eclipsed by their elders and had high hopes for emulating their success. Teachers is a funny yet poignant play about school life which remains as relevant now as it was when it was first performed in 1987. Directed by Hilary Linus and Jennifer Lochhead, the 7 young actors aged from 13 to 17 portrayed a variety of teachers and pupils and explored the issues both face as they negotiate life in the education system. After their performance in the Nairn Arts Centre on Saturday evening, the adjudicator, Russell Boyce, praised the team for their vocal, movement and characterisation skills and for the discipline instilled in them by the directors, whose direction was also commended highly. Having already won through Glasgow District and Western Division rounds, the teams were delighted to take the final trophy against talented teams from Blairgowrie and Killen. The 2023 festival marked the club's first competitive outing since before lockdown, and the victories have put the icing on the cake of the club's centenary celebrations, a cake made especially sweet by the fact that not only is the club's first double victory, but it may well also be the first time any club has won the Scottish final in both the adult and youth competitions. What a way to celebrate a centenary. The youths will celebrate their success with 2 final performances in the Turret Theatre, East Side, on 18th and 19th August. Tickets available now from the club website. The Beaches of St Valery will be performed as Scotland's entry in the British final on Friday, June 30th in the Mac Theatre in Belfast.
Free train travel. As the school summer holidays approach, ScotRail is reminding families that a day out by train is a thrilling and convenient option, offering endless opportunities for fun and exploration. With the highly popular Kid for a Quid tickets, children can travel for just £1 return off-peak across Scotland when accompanied by a fare-paying adult. Kids for a Quid tickets can be used with almost all adult ticket types, ensuring that families can embark on adventures together. When travelling off-peak, including it on an advance ticket, season ticket, Club 50 membership or national entitlement card, customers can enjoy the fantastic discount for their little ones. ScotRail has created suggestions at www.scotrail.co.uk/family days out. Family announcements. Deaths. Butler Joan Nee McKeechan peacefully at Whitefield Lodge Care Home on June the 16th, 2023. Beloved wife of the late Jack, a much-loved mum, gran and great-gran. Fortified by rites of Holy Church. R.I.P. Reception and vigil at St Flannan's RC Church, Kirkintilloch, on Monday, July the 3rd, 2023 at 6:30pm. Funeral Mass on Tuesday, July the 4th, 2023 at 10am. Thereafter to Old Isle Cemetery for 11:15am. Heron Christine peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on June the 14th, 2023. Beloved wife of Jim, a much-loved mum of Laura and Sean, mother-in-law of Chris and Michelle, an adored gran of 6, and great-gran of 2. Funeral service will take place on Monday, July the 3rd, 2023 at Daldowie Crematorium for 2pm. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if desired, to Carers Link, East Dunbartonshire. McCormick Sheena peacefully on May the 25th, 2023 at Glasgow Royal Infirmary. Much love, aunt and friend to many. Will be sadly missed by all. Funeral service will take place on Thursday, June 29 at Vale of Leven Cemetery, G83 0LJ at 9:45am. Thereafter to Co-op Funeral Care, 21 East Side, Kirkintilloch, G66 1PY for 11:30am for Thanksgiving service. In memoriam, Keon Ella. In loving memory of my dear mother, Ella, died June the 30th, 1969. Always remembered, Robert. Langley David. Precious memories of a wonderful husband, father, son, grandfather, and a friend to all who knew him. Passed away June 28th, 2019. Love you forever. God bless Isabel, Colin, and all the family and friends. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Right Side of Life. Former Great British Bake Off contestant Karen Wright shares her recipe for everyday happiness. Panoramic views over Tuscan countryside. The third week of my trip in the motorhome in Europe has seen me travel to various parts of Italy. As I mentioned last week, we started at a campsite near San Remo, which is just over the border from France and right on the coast. After a couple of days there, we moved down the leg of Italy to Tuscany. I have been keen to visit Tuscany ever since I had a can of Tuscan bean soup many years ago. It intrigued me then. Where was Tuscany and why beans? We travelled down to the coast, but we went through so many tunnels we hardly caught a glimpse of the sea. It made me think how hard travelling must have been before the tunnels were built. I have no respect for the Romans marching their way up from Rome to create their empire. We eventually arrived at our campsite that was right on the top of a very high hill. We had panoramic views from the infinity swimming pool. It was so glorious. We spent 4 nights on the campsite, which enabled us to visit a couple of places. The first was to a very local town called Vinci. This was where Leonardo da Vinci grew up, and the town is just full of museums dedicated to showing the world his many wonderful and totally awesome inventions. He was a genius, there's no other word for it. We went into the church where he was baptised, a very special feeling being right there where he was starting his life all those centuries ago. The following day, we went to Florence on a train. It was magical, albeit roasting hot and very busy indeed. The buildings need to be seen to be believed. We had a wonderful day. Our last day in Tuscany was spent on the campsite. The restaurant has a weekly cooking demonstration, and I was keen to attend. The chef made the pasta using 5 eggs, some flour, and some water. Very simple, but it was all about the technique. I had never seen pasta made this way before. We all had to go at kneading, rolling, and cutting the pasta before we cooked and ate it. There was enough left to take back to the motorhome to have for our tea. We left Tuscany behind and headed over towards Venice. We stayed at a campsite just by the sea. We had direct access from the side and we could hear the lapping of the waves from our pitch. We spent a day in Venice that was unbelievably fantastic. Let's talk. Wednesday the 28th of June 2023, letters page from the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. For Valo in the field of giving Boris a haircut. With Boris Johnson issuing his well-earned honours list, many favours have to be paid off. With the political and intellectual might of Jacob Rees-Mogg, Michael Fabricant, Conor Burns and Priti Patel, all recognised for their unstinting support, many other shining lights within the Johnson fold have also received gongs, including his hairdresser, who has clearly done as good a job as Johnson did while PM, as well as some of his staff who resigned in disgrace over Partygate. Better luck next time, Nadine. Not to be outdone, the Royals have also been awarding themselves new titles, and Camilla has been appointed to the Scottish Order of the Thistle. Lucky old Scotland again. One weeps with bated breath as the Liz Truss honours list looms, recognising her triumphant period as Prime Minister. Lord Quasi-Kwarteng, anyone? That's one of the great things about the British honours system. It is always scrupulously fair and benefits the most deserving of people. D. Mitchell, address supplied. Master plan amidst the priorities. Sir, Hamza Yousaf's master plan for a seceded Scotland looks to be focused on abolishing the monarchy, writing a constitution and getting rid of nuclear weapons from the Gair Loch. I'm not convinced that these policies are at the top of Scottish voters' priorities. Do the Nationalists not have any appreciation of the housing crisis, their deplorable administration of transport, the NHS staff shortages and waiting times, or the widening attainment gap in education? The SNP are failing Scotland as a devolved administration. Goodness also knows what levels of ineptitude they would bring to the government of a seceded country. While there are policies to eliminate the crippling fiscal and trade deficits, how would they plan to prevent an immediate, catastrophic devaluation of a new Scottish currency? How would the Nationalists replace the annual £2.24 billion fiscal transfer from Westminster that pays our pensions and welfare payments? King or no king, the Yes cult have no answer to these important economic questions. Yours, etc., James Quinn, by email. Media flock to Nicola. Sir, Nicola Sturgeon makes an appearance outside her home in front of the media on her return there a week after her arrest. She asks for some privacy and rightly confirms she cannot answer questions about the ongoing police investigation. She returns to the Scottish Parliament a few days later and, with a click of her fingers, gathers the subservient media to hear her latest inconsequential musings. It is clear that her desire to remain relevant and in the spotlight remains undiminished. It really is time for her to step into the shadows and for the media to try and break free from her publicity spell, where she speaks and informs of nothing. Yours, etc., Richard Allison. Address supplied. Sad icon of the dock. Sir, the administration at Holyrood often lauds the Scandinavian model as something Scotland might aspire to as an independent nation. Shipbuilding is an industry on which Scotland rightfully prided itself on, but the Scandinavians are putting down a marker that we have a long way to go to get anywhere near. The icon of the seas from the Royal Caribbean will be the largest cruise ship ever. It has been built at Turku in Finland, a city of around 200,000 inhabitants, about the size of Aberdeen, in a country of 5.5 million, about the size of Scotland. The ship is 20 stories high and can accommodate up to 7,600 guests in luxury, with 7 swimming pools to cool off in. It has 8 contrasting neighbourhoods to suit your mood. Work began in 2020, sea trials are planned for this year, and bookings are being taken for cruises starting in January. Compare this with the construction of the Glen Sannox, a small ferry starting in 2016 with expected completion in 2018. It is over 5 years late, way over budget, and will enter service in spring 2024 at the earliest, long after the icon of the seas is taking paying customers. I apologise if this is seen to be talking Scotland down again, but there has to be realisation of what we are up against if we want to be any kind of player in an industry where Glasgow once dominated the global stage. Yours, etc., James Edgar. Address supplied. Have a field day and map out your visits. Report by Julie Curry. Scotland's fantastic range of farm and croft visitor experiences are set for a field day with the arrival of a new agri-tourism guide. Showcasing more than 200 of Scotland's best agri-tourism experiences, the map is now available for visitors in the 26 Visit Scotland eye centres across the country. A digital version of the map is also available at www.goruralscotland.com. The Go Rural map includes information on working farms and crofts to buy homegrown food and drink, spend a day or stay on holiday. Some 217 agri-tourism experiences are located across the country, from Shetland to the Scottish borders. It's a great opportunity for visitors and locals alike to learn more about the agri-tourism sector. Caroline Miller, Scottish Agri-Tourism Sector Lead, said, "Our Go Rural map provides inspiration and ideas for the best experiences in Scotland's countryside, as well as the inside knowledge on where to enjoy delicious food and drink direct from a farmer. We know many people are interested in using the map to visit the many different farms and crofts in Scotland. When visitors see the Go Rural cow, they can be assured of a friendly welcome and a really good authentic rural experience. Agri-tourism in Scotland is defined as tourism or leisure on a farm or croft that produces food or offers holiday experiences. In recent years, particularly during the pandemic, agri-tourism has been a growing travel trend, with visitors seeking out authentic rural experiences that connect them to the countryside and Scotland's natural larder." Tracy Beveridge, Visit Scotland Head of Information Services, said, From fruit picking to farm stays, adventure sports to lambing experiences, this map showcases the fantastic wealth of agri-tourism opportunities available for visitors and locals to enjoy the length and breadth of Scotland. Our iCentre staff are looking forward to using the map to provide inspiration for visitors as part of Visit Scotland's commitment to working in partnership with the sector to position Scotland as a leading destination for agri-tourism. The map's launch was officially marked by the Scottish Agri-Tourism Board member Robert Wilson of Wilson's Farm and Kitchen and his companion Lily the Hereford Cow, who met with staff from Jedburgh's iCentre. Lily was sporting a distinct resemblance to the Go Rural brand cow, used to signify that agri-tourism experiences take place on authentic working farms. Robert said, "It's tremendous to have the support of Visit Scotland to share everything Scottish agri-tourism and Go Rural has to offer farmers and consumers alike by stocking this map in their iCentres." Scottish Agri-Tourism was established in June 2020 to formally bring together farmers, crofters and suppliers to the sector to offer peer-to-peer business support, consumer marketing and representation. Working on behalf of the entire sector, Scottish Agri-Tourism has 255 member businesses and 475 individual members within them. To find out more, visit www.goruralscotland.com. And that was a report by Julie Curry. The go-to nation for red meat globally? Quality Meat Scotland, QMS, has announced its new 5-year strategy, which seeks to make the nation the go-to choice for premium red meat across the world. According to QMS's recent independent impact report, the Scottish red meat industry outperformed the rest of the UK by £130 million in production and £124 million in retail performances between 2016 and 2020. The brand now looks to build upon this success with the new Scotland, the choice for premium red meat strategy, which was launched at the QMS's annual industry breakfast briefing at the Royal Highland Show. Its mission is to lead the development of Scotland's red meat sector by driving demand from consumers who recognise the brands as a mark on integrity, provenance and with sustainability at its core. Kate Rowell, QMS chairwoman, said, "Our industry, like so many others, has gone through a period of unprecedented volatility. A global pandemic, a constitutional upheaval from leaving the European Union, and a war on our continent have all erupted in the last 3 years. Added to that, there is the ongoing climate emergency which is challenging the way the world lives, works and consumes. Food security pressures are growing and, closer to home, wholesale change to agriculture policy is on the horizon. Our new vision is to make Scotland the premium choice for red meat across the globe. Ambitious and bold, it reflects both the passion we have for the red meat supply chain we work on behalf of and our belief in its potential."
Kids for a quid on trains this summer. As the school summer holidays approach, ScotRail is promoting its highly popular Kids for a Quid tickets. This summer, children can travel for just £1 return off-peak across Scotland when accompanied by a fare-paying adult. Kids for a Quid tickets can be used with almost all adult ticket types. When travelling off-peak, including on an advance ticket, season ticket, Club 50 membership or national entitlement card, customers can enjoy the fantastic discount for their little ones. To help families make the most of their summer journeys, ScotRail has created informative articles which can be viewed on the train operator's website. These highlight a wide range of activities and attractions, including beautiful beaches, captivating free attractions and much more. By signposting families to these articles, ScotRail hopes to provide inspiration for memorable day trips and outings that children will cherish. Claire Dickey, ScotRail Head of Retail, said, "We understand the challenges that parents and grandparents and guardians face during the school summer holidays when thinking of things to do to keep children entertained throughout the long break. Our Kids for a Quid tickets not only ensure affordable travel for families, but also encourages them to consider train journeys as an exciting part of their summer plans. Travelling by train is such a great way to experience Scotland. Families can explore stunning destinations, discover new experiences, and create lasting memories. Don't miss out on the incredible adventures that await this summer. Have a whale of a time watching. The Sea Watch Foundation is delighted to announce the return of National Whale and Dolphin Watch, a week-long citizen science event taking place from July 29th to August 6th. Volunteers across the UK are invited to join trained experts at designated watch sites around the country to observe and record sightings of marine mammals. Here in Scotland, the week is coordinated by regional coordinators the length and breadth of our coastline. By collecting data, the event contributes to ongoing scientific research, helping to monitor population trends, distribution, and behaviour of these amazing creatures. Now, in its 22nd year, National Whale and Dolphin Watch has become an important event for citizen scientists, researchers, and wildlife enthusiasts. Last year, more than 1,000 volunteers participated, recording sightings of 13 species of whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Memorable sightings included sei whales in the Outer Hebrides, striped dolphins off Cornwall, and 14 sightings of orca. It is hoped this year's event will be even bigger and more exciting than ever before. Simone Evans, Sea Watch Foundation's sighting officer, said, "The UK waters are home to a diverse range of whales, dolphins, and porpoises, but they face increasing threats. By engaging the public in monitoring and conserving these species, we can better understand and preserve them for future generations." National Whale and Dolphin Watch is an opportunity for people of all ages and backgrounds to get involved in marine conservation and make a meaningful contribution to the protection of marine mammals. No special knowledge is needed to take part. Keen observers can sign up to training courses or use the free Sea Watcher app and species guides to get involved. The Sea Watch Foundation has monitored whales, dolphins, and porpoises in British waters for over 40 years with the help of volunteers. It was founded as a charity in 1991 by Professor Peter Evans with the aim to find out more about the cetaceans in British and Irish waters. To find out more or get involved, visit the Sea Watch Foundation website.
Fair game for the Scottish Festival. Scone Palace Parkland will be transformed into a game fair paradise this weekend. Running from June the 30th to July the 2nd, there's a packed programme for all ages to enjoy. From fishing to shooting, archery to falconry, there's something for everyone, including a chance to have a go. For those looking to stock up, the fair has bags of choice with an impressive lineup of exhibitors to keep you busy, including the Design and Craft Fair, which is perfect for a leisurely stroll and shopping for some unique items. The fair also brings the countryside to life for the younger generation, with interactive displays and games to a visit to GWCT's education content storytelling exhibition within the GWCT area, which is a must for all families. The kitchen theatre is also a great way to explore Scottish produce and how to get the best from your game. For details and tickets, visit www.scottishfair.com. District News, Churches. Kirkintilloch Church of God. On Sunday at Regent Hall, Regent Street, there will be a friendship tea service at 4 p.m. The speaker will be Michael Johnson. Refreshments will be served after the service. All welcome. The Wednesday Coffee Corner will be closed for the summer holiday period, but is due to recommence on Wednesday, August the 9th. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. The Bible says, "There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." Romans chapter 8, verse 1. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, July the 2nd, will be conducted by Reverend Ian Taylor assisted by our probationer Mrs. Julie Harty in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. The summer Sunday school meets in room 2. There is also a creche facility where we will be happy to look after your child, birth to 3 years, in room 2. Tea and coffee will be available after church in room 1. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. No collection is taken during the service, so donations can be made by placing them in the offering plates in the hall of fellowship as you enter or leave the building. Morning worship has also been live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. The Kirk session will meet in the Cambridge Chapel on Tuesday, June the 27th at 7:30 p.m. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, June the 28th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone who would like to speak with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, June the 28th from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. Colston Well Park Church. Colston Well Park Church welcomes you to our morning service, and a very special welcome to our new locum, Reverend Matthew Cuthbertson, who will lead his first service for Colston at 11 a.m. Tea, coffee and conversation will be held in the hall after the service. The Art Club is closed for the summer season and will recommence on the last Monday in August. Telephone 07709 584 680 for more information. This Wednesday, the Colston Tea Break continues from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and if you enjoy good food, good company and a good friendly chat, come along. You'll be made welcome and it's free. The food bank continues its essential and worthwhile service within the community and is open every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And again, a sincere thanks to all who contribute to this valuable work. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector Reverend Canon Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. There is a communion service on Thursday, June 29th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, July the 2nd at 9 a.m. in the chapel and at 10:30 in the church with hymns. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea and coffee and fellowship afterwards. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date and further information, refer to our social media, Facebook, St James LS Bishopbriggs, website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Kenmure Parish Church. All are welcome to attend our Sunday morning worship that begins at 11 a.m. This week, it will be led by George and Sheena Reid. The service is live streamed on YouTube. You can find our channel by simply searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. Details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on our website, kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church, Kenmure spelled Kenmure. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Lindsay Union Parish Church. The coffee pot is open on Friday, June the 30th from 10 a.m. to noon in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. Thereafter, this will close for the summer holidays. You are invited to join the Free Joint Churches Holiday Club for children in primary 1 to 7 on August the 8th and 9th from 10 a.m. till noon at St David's Memorial Park Church, and August the 10th and 11th from 10 a.m. till noon at Lindsay Union Parish Church. Fun and games, Bible stories, arts and crafts, drama, free fruit and water. To book a space on all or some days, contact kirkhill@gmail.com. Lenzie Church of Scotland Joint Summer Services, July the 2nd, 9th and 16th at Lenzie Old Parish Church, and July 23rd, 30th and August the 6th at Lenzie Union Parish Church, read by Reverend Dan Carmichael. All services start at 11 a.m. All welcome. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, July the 2nd will begin at 11 a.m. as usual and will be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. Age-related activities will continue in the halls for young people. This week is the last meetings for both Wednesday Welcome and Monday Craft Afternoons. They will recommence in September. On Wednesday, July the 5th, the church will open for visitors and tea and coffee and will be available from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Cadder Parish Church, beside the canal. For full details, please see our website. We look forward to welcoming you this coming Sunday to our morning service, which is at 10:30 a.m. in Cadder Parish Church. The service will be led by Reverend John McGregor, student Chris Barlas, and Javi Jose Osendo Malo, MMUS. All are welcome. Tea and coffee served after the service. Food Bank. If you wish to donate to the local food bank, you can bring your donation of food to the church or the coffee shop. Early Fellowship meets in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday for half an hour with Reverend John McGregor, and also available on Tuesday and Thursday on Zoom. For further details, contact the minister. RHS is back with a bang! The Royal Highland Show launches its 2024 tickets as gates close on a world-class event. A limited number of early bird discounted tickets to the 2024 Royal Highland Show were released on Monday as the gates closed on this year's event, which welcomed the world's best sheep shearers amongst the 217,000 people who flocked to the show over the 4 days. For those who are already planning a return to the show next year, a limited number of super early bird tickets for the 2024 Royal Highland Show, June the 20th to 23rd, were released via the show's website, royalhighlandshow.org, priced at just £30 with children 15 and under free to attend. Summer Drink Drive Blitz for Scotland. A crackdown on drink and drug driving has been launched by Police Scotland on Monday, June the 26th. Latest figures show that motorists caught driving under the influence, DUI, has increased by a third in the past 5 years. The annual recorded crime in Scotland report published last week showed 7,815 DUI offences in 2022-23, compared with 5,863 in 2027-28. Separate figures from Transport Scotland reveal there are 20 deaths a year caused by drink driving. The Scottish drink drive limit was lowered in December 2014 from 80 mg of alcohol in 100 ml of blood to 50 mg. A study of 1,000 people in Scotland by breathalyser firm AlcoSense found 53% of motorists have now reduced the amount of alcohol they drink while they will be driving later that day or the following morning. But there's still a persistent minority who flout the law and drive above the limit, comments MD Hunter Abbott. When you go out drinking this summer, plan ahead for how you'll get home, whether it's walking, public transport, taxi or designated alcohol-free driver. Even a small amount of alcohol slows reaction time, inhibits judgment and reduces concentration, increasing the likelihood of an accident. Police Scotland's Summer Blitz runs for 3 weeks, from June the 26th to July the 16th. During last year's 2-week intelligence-led campaign, 585 roadside breath and screening tests were carried out, plus 152 drug tests. Officers detected 295 DUI offences, an astonishing failure rate of 40%. However, analysis by AlcoSense shows that, across the year, breath test failure rates in Scotland, 3.5%, are considerably lower than in England and Wales, 6%. Motorists should either abstain completely or use a personal breathalyzer to check they are clearing the following morning, adds Hunter Abbott. Water scarcity situation worsens in Scotland. Part of the River Esk area in Dumfries and Galloway is the second in Scotland to receive the highest water scarcity level in the most recent report published by the Scottish Environmental Protection Agency, SEPA. It joins Loch Maree in the Highlands, which remains as significant for a third week. While heavy, thundery showers across the country have led to some very localised recovery of rivers and groundwater, there has not been enough to sufficiently replenish levels, and conditions continue to get worse. The Coron River in the Highlands and the Outer Hebrides has now been escalated to moderate scarcity, where the southwest and much of central Scotland remain. Without further rainfall, these areas risk reaching significant. The rest of the country is in alert level. Authorised water abstractors in Loch Maree and River Esk areas already have conditions as part of their permits to protect the environment against low river flows, and no additional restrictions are required by SEPA. However, as further areas reach significant water scarcity, action will be required to protect the sustainability of local water environments. SEPA understands the impacts on businesses facing these challenging conditions and is working to avoid full suspensions on extractions. Where possible, measures to significantly reduce the volume of water taken from rivers and lochs will be implemented. Head of Water and Planning at SEPA, Nathan Critchlow-Wotton, said, "We know the pressures facing the Scottish businesses right now, including Scotland's farmers, and the importance of the food and drink they produce. That's why we're determined to protect our environment while supporting Scotland during prolonged dry periods such as this. Our approach is proportionate, aiming to help those businesses using the least water and whose activities are most efficient to continue operating. This is a temporary position, recognising the impact suspensions can have on businesses, but it's important abstractors understand the need to work with us now and in future years to adapt to water scarcity." Advice and guidance. SEPA is liaising with all sectors that abstract water from the environment, including agriculture, food and drink and leisure. Businesses are expected to put in place additional mitigation now to minimise the impacts of continued abstraction. Guidance has been issued on which abstractors may be excluded from restrictions or have the volume of water they take reduced rather than stopped. This will not be possible for all abstractors. SEPA will be in direct contact with businesses affected to provide additional advice. Abstractors and irrigators are asked to manage water wisely, check SEPA's water scarcity reports regularly, and be aware of the situation in their area. They should regularly check abstraction equipment to make sure that it's in good condition and fix any leaks straight away. During dry periods, the volume and rate of abstractions should be reduced where possible. It is also crucial for businesses to have a continuing plan for restrictions are put in place by SEPA on abstractions. This can include using an alternative source if available within current authorisations. More information, guidance and advice can be found at www.sepa.org.uk/water scarcity. Maxwell K Memorial Cup. On Tuesday, June the 13th, friends of Maxwell K organised a fundraising event for the British Heart Foundation to celebrate his life. Maxwell sadly passed away of heart failure on December the 10th, 2022. He was 16 years old and an S5 at Lindsay Academy. Maxwell was a talented sportsman excelling at water polo and tennis. His friends wanted to celebrate his memory in the spirit of fun and competition. This is the first year of the Maxwell K Memorial Cup event at Lindsay Academy, with S5 and S6 students competing in football, netball and benchball. This will become an annual event to raise funds for the British Heart Foundation. The cup was kindly donated by Maxwell's family. We raised £300 and, If you wish to support this wonderful charity, please use the following link: www.giftofhope.bhf.org.uk/in-memory/Maxwell-K. Westminster View. Boris Johnson is a liar, by Amy Callaghan MP. This is not just my conclusion, but that of the Privilege Committee tasked with judging whether the former Prime Minister knowingly lied about his lockdown parties. The committee's report received the backing of 354 MPs, myself included, with only 7 Tories voting against. Many may have abstained, but most of his mates deserting him demonstrates the strength of the public feeling in favour of Johnson receiving punishment for his actions. Johnson made a mockery of the rules, a mockery of us, and of Parliament. We miss family and friends, birthdays and funerals. Some of our loved ones died alone. NHS staff and other key workers risked their lives daily in the front line. All the while, the Prime Minister thought the rules didn't apply to him. People are right to be furious about the utter disregard Johnson had for our lives. He may bellow about the Privilege Committee being a kangaroo court, but his bluff and bluster is falling on deaf ears. It's a sorry tale of entitlement and contempt, and it's a farce that it took a committee report to set out what we have known for months. Last summer, I was asked to withdraw a comment in Parliament for calling Johnson a liar. A comment we know was a statement of fact. Beyond the obvious anger at the former Prime Minister's actions, what irks me is there are punishments at our disposal. People died. Others are suffering from long COVID and may have the trauma of the pandemic and lockdown hanging over them. A 90-day suspension and not getting a Parliament pass is pathetic, but I take solace in the recognition of his wrongdoing. These were the toughest sanctions at our disposal. Just today, at the time of writing, we have discovered that inflation hasn't fallen this month. Mortgage rates and the price of goods and services are through the roof. This should be our focus, not some arrogant Tory narcissist. I look forward to again debating the issues that matter and leaving the days of Boris Johnson in public life long behind us. By Amy Callaghan MP. Scottish red meat leads the way. Quality Meat Scotland, QMS, has announced its new 5-year strategy, which seeks to build upon the red meat sector's contribution to Scotland's national economy by making the nation the go-to choice for premium red meat across the world. According to QMS's recent independent impact report, the Scottish red meat industry outperformed the rest of the UK by £130 million in production and £124 million in retail performances between 2016 and 2022. The brand now looks to build upon this success with its new Scotland, the choice for premium red meat strategy. To find out more about QMS, visit www.qms.co.uk/QMS-5-year-strategy-2024-2028. Rob Roy welcomed the new arrivals. Report by Brian Yule. Pre-season training got underway for Kirkintilloch Rob Roy on Saturday with some new faces in their ranks. Last season, the side only scored 37 goals in the WOS Premier Division, the second lowest in the league, and has moved to improve its attacking options with the arrival of Ryan Tierney from Open Goal Broomhill. Tierney, 25, scored 8 goals and provided 1 assist last season in the Lowland League, and has plenty of experience under his belt since making his Premiership debut as a teenager with Hamilton Accies, going on to have spells at Airdrieonians, Albion Rovers, Dumbarton, Caledonian Braves and Stenhousemuir. He told the club's social media, "The first day of pre-season was hard, it always is, but need to get it done, and I think everybody's the same for the first couple of sessions, and then you're ready to go. It was only the first day of pre-season, but everybody seems to get on well, They seem like a good bunch, and hopefully it stays that way the whole season. Rob Roy has also added the duo of Lennon Peary and Jake Sterling from Cumbernauld Colts under-20s, with Perry being top scorer as they won the SLFL Development League Conference A last season. Meanwhile, captain Scott Walker has extended his contract until the end of this season. Rob Roy boss Kevin McGoldrick told the club's Facebook page, "I am delighted that Scott has continued his association with Rob Roy. His attitude and commitment has been exemplary. He has a real hunger to be successful for the club, which matches that of myself, the staff and the committee." Joining the coaching staff is ex-Rob Roy player Davy Kelly, who will be in charge of the under-18s for the new season. Friendlies have been arranged against Dunipace on July the 11th and Heriot-Watt University 4 days later, before the club participates in the Socky tournament on July 22nd. Seeking to energise the women's game. Report by Brian Newell. Scottish Power has announced a landmark partnership deal with Scottish Women's Football, SWF, and the Scottish Women's Premier League, SWPL, dedicated to energising women's football at every age and stage across the country. The deal will see the company become the exclusive principal partner for Scottish Women's Football and the Scottish Women's Premier League, sponsoring the Scottish Youth Challenge Cup at all 3 age groups and the Scottish Women's Highlands and Islands League. Scottish Power will work closely with both SWF and the SWPL over the next 3 years to invest in supporting the women's game for both this and future generations by driving equality and diversity all the way from grassroots to elite. The partnership is dedicated to further developing the women's game at the top level, with the SWPL and its 20-member clubs, and also focus on opportunities to inspire more young girls into the game while opening doors for girls and women in remote communities across the Highlands and Islands. The sponsorship was announced at Scottish Power's Whiteley Wind Farm, the UK's largest onshore wind farm, which brought together around 50 footballers from across Scotland, of all ages and levels, to celebrate the partnership of the impact it will have on the game. Keith Anderson, Chief Executive of Scottish Power, said, "We are committed to promoting equality at all levels, and I'm delighted that we're supporting girls and women the length and breadth of the country access and benefit from sport. It's an exciting time for the women's game in Scotland, and I'm thrilled Scottish Power will play its part in helping to inspire girls to participate and support the development of infrastructure around the country." Eileen Campbell, CEO of Scottish Women's Football, added, "Scottish Power support represents another major moment in what's an incredibly exciting time for women's football. I'm excited to see the partnership develop over the coming years as we help new talent to emerge and support regional communities, clubs and players to enjoy the game." Tigers are showing more muscle. Glasgow Tigers team boss Cammy Brown believes his side are showing more muscle after a strong win over Scunthorpe. The Scorpions were stung with several hard overtaking moves in a 38-28 win at Ashfield on Friday. The meeting was abandoned after 11 races due to rain, but the result stands. Brown said, "We've done a lot of work to the track over the past few days, and the boys pulled off some brilliant passes all over the track. The racing has been outstanding all season, but the lads really pushed a tough Scunthorpe side. We've had a couple of below par home performances this season, but we are back to our best. We showed more muscle tonight." All the lads delivered big time and made a very good Scunny team look quite ordinary at times. We've now got a massive week ahead with the pool in Ashfield on Friday in the BSN final. The first trophy up for grabs in British Speedway, and we want it, but it will be very tough. Stock cars. Robbie Scott from Wednesday was the hat-trick winner at Cowdenbeath Wraithwall on Saturday in his mini-stock. In the 9-point scoring dash for the tyre race, he brought his car home in 6th place. After that, He went on to dominate the races, going through to win both of the heats, and, when the final started, was quickly into his stride and picking up places. Just before the half distance, he took the lead and eased away from the chasing pack to make it a hat-trick of victories. Green light for new sports facility in Lennoxtown. Plans for a new community sports complex in Lennoxtown have been given the green light by East Dunbartonshire Council. At its meeting on Thursday, the council approved plans to redevelop the current High Park site by installing a new all-weather sports pitch and extending the existing changing pavilion to increase capacity. The £4.3 million development will see the existing grass playing fields replaced by a single 3G AstroTurf pitch to allow for more frequent use throughout the year, as opposed to the current restricted use due to weather conditions. The existing single-storey pavilion, which houses 2 changing rooms, toilet/shower facilities and a bothy used by council employees, will be extended to create 2 new changing rooms with toilet/shower facilities, as well as an equipment store. The project will also include drainage and retention works to alleviate issues with standing surface water, pitch floodlighting, spectator standing areas, and additional car/cycle parking. Councillor Liddell Gordon Lowe said, "This is fantastic news and will be a huge boost for sports clubs in the area, as well as increasing access to sporting activities to promote physical and mental well-being for the community." The development of this sports complex is aimed at providing an enhanced community resource for the people of Lennoxtown and the surrounding area. I'm sure they will be delighted with this new facility when it opens next year. Bishopbriggs North and Campsie Councillor Paul Ferretti added, "Delighted the High Park project has been granted planning permission and the additional report at full council was passed. This has been a priority for me since getting elected, and I have consistently campaigned and argued for it, despite some challenges along the way. This will be an excellent resource for the wider Campsie area. The completed facility will remain under the council's ownership, but will be managed and operated by East Dunbartonshire Leisure and Culture Trust. Work is currently scheduled to begin on site later this summer."
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.